So Blue Beetle's coming out next month. I wonder what the projections look like. Well, damn. You know, it's starting to look like it wasn't a good idea to tell everyone you're scrapping this universe before all the movies came out. I bet Warner Brothers is over there like,
y'all are messed up. I said fix it!
it looks like Warner Brothers is about to break the record for the most cinematic bombs in a row, because the projections for Blue Beetle aren't looking good. According to Box Office Pro, Blue Beetle is looking at a $12 to $17 million opening weekend box office, and a total domestic pool of $27 to $55 million. That's on a $120 million budget, so it probably won't make its money back. That would make Blue Beetle the fourth DCEU film in a row to tank at the box office since the pandemic. The first was Black Adam, followed by Shazam 2, and then The Flash. It really does seem like telling people that these movies don't matter was a really bad business move, especially since 2 out of the 4 introduced new lead characters. WB already had to deal with people's attitudes about the Snyderverse, the mess with Henry Cavill, and the insanity of Ezra Miller. Blue Beetle isn't exactly a popular or well-known character, so it made no sense to sabotage the film's box office chance by telling people that whatever they're setting up in these movies isn't going to be followed through. Even after the Flash film, which was a soft reboot for the entire universe, it's still unclear what WB will or won't keep, so some people are probably going to avoid the film just for that. The other is that nothing about the trailer is all that exciting. If you switch this out for Ms. Marvel clips, I don't think anyone could tell the difference. It comes across as that generic, and from what we've seen with other recent bombs, if a movie looks that bland, people will wait for it to appear on streaming, and I'm guessing that's what's going to happen here. Sure, there's always a chance that the film will do much better than expected, but after the crash and burn of The Flash, I wouldn't bet on it. Right now, people are waiting to see what James Gunn does with the new DC universe, and even that isn't bringing it out of people, except for Jim Lee. He's very excited about it. So excited that he made this bold claim to The Hollywood Reporter, quote, "It's amazing to have partners in Peter and James, particularly James. He was a comics fan growing up and knows our mythology inside out. And having that kind of ally in the live-action space allows us to really leverage what he is doing and allow us to market and sell comic books to new readers," says Lee. These are people who are interested in his movies, his TV shows, and if they want to take a deep dive into these characters, he directs them to the comic books. Without divulging figures, Lee says that certain titles have seen double or triple-digit growth in sales since the duo took charge of the newly integrated screen division. One book, The Authority, wasn't even in print when Gunn revealed it was getting the big screen treatment. Yeah, I'd like to see those numbers because I don't believe you. There's a long history of superhero movies bringing in bank, but not sending fans to the books. It'd be miraculous for James Gunn to break that trend to the tune of triple-digit sales, and a real-life catastrophe for him to do it before releasing any films. It almost sounds like you're just making this up, which is probably why you wouldn't give any numbers. Or maybe the original sales numbers were so low that the triple-digit increase still ain't that impressive. Whichever one it is, I still want to see the receipts, because this sounds as plausible as Blue Beetle cracking $1 billion. Like I said, it could happen. Nobody expected Aquaman to do well, and it was the first and only DCEU film to crack $1 billion. Maybe the second Aquaman movie will do the same. It's been through production hell, partly due to the pandemic, and partly to the changes that needed to be made to make it fit into the new DC universe. That bloated the budget to over $200 million, just like The Flash. Now, it's possible that the second film will play out like the first, starting with a decent opening weekend domestically but crushing it worldwide. It made most of its money internationally, a little over $813 million. And that could happen again. For Aquaman. For Blue Beetle, that's doubtful. I just don't see this bringing it out of people. If ever there was a movie to do that, that would have been The Flash. The one saving grace for Blue Beetle is that it seems funny, and that might bring in an audience. But then again, people are starting to sour on the comedy routine in the MCU films, and that's the comedic tone in the Blue Beetle trailer, so that could backfire. We'll have to see. Or really, you'll have to see, because I'm not going to theaters to see this movie. It's not because I dislike the character, I just have no interest in this movie. I will watch it when it comes to Max, because I've seen all the DCEU films except for Birds of Prey, because I don't hate myself. If it turns out that Blue Beetle is good, maybe I will check it out in theaters. I'm sure I won't have to struggle to find a good seat. But what do I know? I'm just some guy.